would expect the trade between the United Kingdom and the European Union to have diminished quite considerably since we left the EU, technically left the EU. Actually, last year, we exported more than we've ever exported to the EU, £340 billion worth of exports. Sadly, we also imported more than we'd normally import, which was £432 billion, and the trade deficit that we ran with the EU last year was exactly the same level, pretty much, that we'd run for many years before the pandemic. And that trade deficit, ladies and gentlemen, is much worse for the pound. The trade deficit being 92 billion last year. That trade deficit is much worse for the pound than us leaving. That trade deficit is bleeding the UK of foreign exchange. We're having to sell pounds to buy foreign exchange, to buy European goods. Actually, the problem with Brexit is not that Brexit's caused problems, it's that we haven't properly Brexited. And I will agree completely, wholeheartedly with Alastair when he says that the Prime Minister was loose, at least in his association with the truth, when he promised to get Brexit done. Because what he said to us, and it's on page 5 of the Conservative Party manifesto, was that the country would leave the European Union as one united kingdom, that we would take back control of our laws, our borders, our cash, and our, did I say laws? And our laws. And we haven't done that.
Borders is the one you missed.
Did I miss borders?
My goodness. Ben, sorry, just what's your name with the glasses there? Lewis. Just answer Lewis's point. Lewis is saying it's made his business more difficult. You're saying, no, it hasn't.
I mean, the evidence...
I mean, that's the reality for him.
No, it isn't. I mean, the evidence...
Well, he just said it.
The evidence is there numerically with the benefit of hindsight. You can someone can fact check me.
Okay, so speak directly to Lewis then.
No, so if you look up the government website, it will tell you that last year we exported more than we exported before the pandemic to the EU, 340 billion. We imported 432 billion, and roughly the trade deficit was what it has been for years.
All right, let's let Lewis answer that.
Sorry, just one thing I wanted to come back on is it was the mention of the pounds and things like that. It's the pounds and the pence that matter to my customers, and the savings that I have to pass on, I can't do anymore because of the very red tape.
I haven't addressed the actual question, so...
Well, I just want you to address Lewis, because Lewis is saying it's made his business more difficult. You're saying, no, it hasn't made business more difficult.
Lewis, it may have made your business more difficult. Yeah. It may have done. And of course there'll be anecdotal evidence of that in a lot of businesses. Okay. But clearly overall it hasn't had that impact.
Can I just check that? So Anna, can we just... Because when I looked into level of exports and imports from you, different people take different views about whether it's gone up, it's gone down. What are the facts in this?
I mean, there are government figures on it.
I mean, there are several things to say. Firstly, yes, trade hasn't performed as badly as I think some people thought pre-Brexit it would. But the crucial thing is, if our trade hadn't been as affected by Brexit, we would see our trade performing like that of our nearest comparators. And what has happened post-COVID is there is a gap between our trading performance and theirs, because theirs has gone up significantly more. And it's very hard when thinking about that to think that's anything other than...
No, but Anand...
Ben, I'm going to let other people come
Just on Ben's other point, it seems curious when you're talking about we didn't leave properly. I mean, Lewis there is saying there is red tape. By leaving properly, as you say, you're adding tariffs onto that red tape. You're making his life harder and more expensive.
Okay, well, let's... I'm just going to hear a bit from Ben. Forgive me, I'm going to hear a bit more from the audience.